I am 50 years old and I'm just now trying to build something. Most men my age have already built something, either through, the jobs that they have or through entrepreneurship. And I got to admit that I've really been feeling behind. Like this, I'm this super ridiculous late starter. But words from people like Myron Golden and well, I'm gonna focus on Myron Golden has me questioning whether or not I really should be thinking of myself as behind. One, words and our thinking are ridiculously powerful. And two, it seems that though everybody's basically on their own path, and I think it's important that we see what others are doing to see what we can do, what is possible. But I shouldn't see that as condemnation, something to condemn myself by, because somehow I have failed to accomplish what I want to accomplish in the same timeline, in the same way as others. Myron was talking about this idea of going through tunnels and that our destination is more important than how long it takes us to get to that destination. And my mind goes to the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken and how his stride happened in the autumn and winter of his life, not in the spring, or well, I should say not in spring. Very rare anybody would ever do it in the spring, but that people seem to get success that I'm looking for. It feels like they get it more in the summer of their life, and then they're really reaping by the autumn. Where the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken did it in the winter, the very late part of his life. And the illustration, I guess what the idea is just like never quit, never give up, keep trying, keep going. But work to educate yourself so that you can be going in a direction that you are building. That you are building. I'm trying to remember this. He talked about how for a lot of us, when something doesn't work within a short period of time, within an hour, or I shouldn't say a short period of time, within the amount of time that we have allotted for something to work, we think that it's just not going to work ever. And I've heard this from Sean Cannell, where he's talking about YouTube channels and how people will start a YouTube channel and then they quit because they're not seeing results. And he says that a lot of times we're quitting before the actual point where we were going to actually hit it and get going. And we're going to actually see success. So like, what does this all mean? What does this all mean? I think for someone like myself, for someone like us, where we have taken a long time to get anywhere, and right now we feel like we're nowhere, that quitting and giving up means that we stay nowhere. And that a lot of us want results right now because we are tired of waiting. We're tired of the journey. We're tired that seemingly everybody else is getting ahead through just jobs. We failed at jobs, and through just borrowing money. We borrowed money and didn't get where we were needing to go. They've got great marriages. We don't have great marriages. We lost it. Like we get tired of this battle. And what he's saying is that if we quit, then we stay in that loss. And that if we don't keep pushing, we'll never get to that place. So what's the pushing? Like, what is the pushing? Like, if you're pushing to nowhere, then nowhere is where you'll get. And so what's the point of the pushing? And if I'm understanding this correctly, it's that we're pushing, or we need to keep pushing. We need to keep pushing, but we also need to take this time where things are struggling to get educated. Because a part of the reason why we have not succeeded is due to the education that we have. That survival education. Just survive and just make it to the next day. But we're not trying to we don't have a vision and a goal to where we're going to. We're just surviving. So first, let's build an education that we can use so that we can have a vision and a goal to where we're getting to. And then keep going. And then there's this illustration about the penny. And would you like to get $3 million, or would you like to have a penny that will double every single day? And that you'll get, like, first you get 2 pennies, and the next day you'll have 4 pennies, and the next day you'll have 8 pennies, on and on and on. And a lot of us, we're looking for that $3 million. I'm definitely there. Like, man, I've waited so long, and I've tried so many things, and I've been fired, and I've been wildly unsuccessful. Why can't I just get to that $3 million? And the idea is be patient. Keep growing. Keep getting better. Don't just grind and stay exactly the way we are, the way you are. Like, don't just keep staying the same. Like, seek to grow in your character, in your person, in your thinking, in your understanding, all that stuff. And then be patient for that growth, that penny. Like, every day you're doubling and you're doubling and you're doubling. And at the very end of this illustration, for 30 days, that's when the results will just explode all of a sudden. And then instead of $3 million in 30 days, you'll have $10 million in 30 days. And that temptation that I struggle with is like, it's taking too long. I'm 50 and I still don't have something I've built. And now I'm trying to educate myself and get educated. And no, not through university, not through the system that didn't serve me, but through learning from people who have gotten successful, learning from them, and then working to implement those things. Because that seems to be another thing that we struggle with, is that we're listening, we may hear things, and we're like, wow, that was really great. And I do this, I'll be like, wow, that was so great. I listened to that. Okay, and that's my work for today. I listened to that. And what I fail to do is to take it and start breaking it down into small steps, to start doing it and implementing it. That's actually part of why I'm doing this YouTube channel, is so that I can have something that's in my hands right now that I can just implement. That's in my control. The YouTube channel is in my control. Not so much the views and, whether or not you watch. I can't control that. But I can control putting the videos up, making those videos, and just do it. And Rodney, there's no results. Nobody's watching. Okay. But at least I'm not sitting doing nothing. Like the temptation is like just to binge off of YouTube and just consume YouTube, right? Or the doom scrolling. And even if I'm consuming, like, what I think is intelligent stuff, I'm just consuming. And it's easier to consume than to produce. But you know what's interesting? That production is way more fulfilling than consumption. Consumption feels good. Don't get me wrong. I like my anime. I like my YouTube. And I'm going to continue consuming. But the fulfillment comes from giving. Like, from actually giving and creating and producing and making and building. and like, it's just like the production is what's powerful. The production is what's powerful. And I'm learning that if I produce, if I create, if I make, then eventually, if I am patient, if we are patient, we will explode with results at some point. I'm wanting to say soon, but I'm learning, no, those words are powerful. It doesn't matter if it takes a long time to get there, just as long as we get there. And if we quit, if we give up, if we don't educate, if we don't get educated, we don't inform ourselves, we don't become better, then yeah, we will go nowhere. But if we keep going, if we keep trying, if we keep pushing, and we're pushing knowledgeably, we're pushing wisely, we're pushing, and we're gonna make, we keep pushing to the goal with growth, with getting better, the results will come. And I've got to use the word eventually. And I don't want to use that word. I want it to be soon. Because I'm 50. I'm not 20. I'm not like, man, I've been on this earth for so long. And now I'm starting to understand these things? Okay. Let's not lament what we did not do. Let's be grateful that we now have the tools and the abilities. We do have the tools and we do have the abilities and we do have the means to do it now. And maybe that's really what matters.